Every culture and people across Calradia has their rite of passage, usually a challenging mission or ceremonial event that marks the coming of age and transformation from youth to adult. For many of the Aserai people, this was often just traveling between towns across the hostile deserts without the aid of the caravans. For Hafiz Kol, the new leader of the Banu Azwahir, his rite of passage seemed to be the quest to avenge his fallen sister Mata. The murder of his sister and subsequent flight of the villain Ruwa made his heart burn with anger and set his iron will on revenge. The brief but brilliant campaign by Kol, leading his people through battles against the Sturgeons and the hated Vlandians, gave the Banu Azwahir time to pursue their fugitive. At last, Ruwa was captured during the siege and sack of Physion, and Arwa, mother of Mata, laid the final stroke of justice with her own hands. Less than a month after being elevated to leader of the clan, Kol had avenged his sister, liberated his people from invasion, and broken the chokehold of tyranny that had shamed his people. Despite all of these heroics, though, there was still much left to be done. Many of those who knew him say something changed in their new leader after the blood vengeance for his sister was fulfilled. He was a man possessed, a wild-eyed and dangerous man, but he also seemed to be driven by a spirit of incredible energy and passion. The sands of fate often blow in chaotic directions, but the people of the Banu Azwahir now finally had a leader they would all follow. The confident son of Wazu now built a following of loyal subjects. These men would follow him and fight with him to restore the fallen glory of the kingdom. Alright friends, welcome back again to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment. Our YouTube channel is dedicated to more caffeine today. We're on a little bit a slow start here. Let me see. Work mouth. This channel is dedicated to Bannerlord, especially Battlefield Command and Advanced Tactics. We'll just go to the old standbys here. And we are in the Southern Empire area here looking for trouble. In fact, this army looks like it's being attacked. We're at a minimum of influence here. This is Kol running around. This is about his, I don't know, 5th or 6th day of me controlling Kol as the new leader of our clan. And see if we can rescue this guy here. Nope, whoops. And we stepped right into this one here. Just like my butchered intro here. We've just been ambushed by 1,000 Northern Empire fucks. The good news, though, is that they're probably the ones that is ambushed here. We are ready with our tactical tool bag here, and we're going to see if we can't rescue these Aserai forces. We will then happily recruit them into our army. A lot of times in this case, you get a whole bunch of prisoners. So we will try to take advantage of this. This battlefield map is a highly advantageous battlefield map for tactics. We don't have quite as many archers as I'd like, but we are role-playing a little bit. That Kol and his name, we're going to undergo some changes with this character, right? He's going to get older, he's hit maturity, but he's going to mature a whole heck of a lot more in this campaign. as both the leader, person, and as a personality for you guys enjoying the role-playing aspect of it. So second, third, and fourth, I'd always try to cover those. Second is defensive cavalry. Third is shock troops. Cole loves his shock troops, right? He is Mr. Shock. The Legion of Boom is the 3rd Division, all two-handed weapon motherfuckers. The 6th Division is skirmishers. 5th is archers. And 7th and 8th are a combination of Jav, Cav, and archers with some of our higher-end nobles. 1st Infantry Division is basically a meat shield, right? There's a lot of javelins in there, though, because the Aserai have so many javelin units, all of those Aserai veteran infantry and Aserai infantry. Let's see, let's see how much of this map we can use, and then we will kind of adjust from there, right? We're going to push forward here a little bit. Don't worry, I'm not F1, F3ing this whole map. I'm just sort of scoping out the enemy and looking at this terrain here. Now look at this, positioning beautiful here for the skirmishers and archers. Of course, on a battlefield map like this, you really want to take advantage of the fact that the enemy tends to first ball up their troops right into a tight, compacted division, but they also have a tendency to come towards the center of the battlefield, right? So obviously we can flank even better. That means our troops here will have elevation, and we will see what the enemy does, right? Of course, all tactics are based on enemy maneuvers. If they play defensive, we will have a different tactic set, but for now, we're essentially forming kind of the shape of a V, right? Where I'm heading to right now is the bottom of the V, and the wings we extend towards the enemy so that we can get flanking fire, get skirmishers, pounding them, etc. Now we will adjust based on what the enemy does. Got a handful of horse archers. We even have some cons guards here that we're recruiting from prisoners. Not too many. We've got 4, 5, 6. Now my troops are all jumbled up here. In fact, my shield wall line is in the way of my horse archers, so this is not optimal. Just like the intro to this session, and we're killing our own guys here. Maybe I need to retire, right? Maybe Cole's already over the hill. I'm just an old geezer here playing video games. I'm actually playing at work, which is also perilous. I could get a call right in the middle of this fight, and then I'll have to run off. Now, usually I just do some editing, and you guys can't really even notice. But this jumble is actually working to our benefit here, because look how bad the enemy cavalry is jammed up here. And Cole likes his shock troops. You can see these guys right next to me wailing away with axes, just like Cole, and a lot of the enemy horsemen are being butchered. Now we're going to start kiting here with our archers for a couple reasons. First, because it's way too congested here, but also they don't have any line of sight. These guys can't shoot if they're right next to the enemy, obviously, or your own troops, of course. They can't even shoot something. So we're going to move them back a little bit. We may even do a little generalized kiting here once their cavalry is destroyed. We'll see how much is left right after this wave. Our shock troop heavy army right now is dealing out some pain, right? This could also be like the Masters of Pain or some other corny name like it. I like the Legion of Boom, right? These guys are probably going to be, the 3rd Division is going to be the Legion of Boom. Now, Cole's still pretty weak, right? He's like level 33, 34, but his skill set, and what I mean by that is his perks are very weak. I should explain, as in Bannerlord, when you have children, generally it's a mix of your parents' levels, right? So if you have high-level parents, the kids come out literally at 18 years old with no experience, already at like level 28 or whatever, and lots of skill points to use, right? So Cole, even though he's high level, is not very experienced, right? He's been in maybe a dozen battles total in this campaign, and these are his first handful leading here. So we've completely blasted the initial enemy cav wave, right? We've just pushed it away, and the enemy looks like they're getting reinforcements here. Of course, the nobles in this campaign continue to be beasts. I've had already some gnarly confrontations with the nobles in this campaign, and I mean, of course, the enemy nobles. That's because of the strength in AI mod. This mod is dramatically increasing the strength and size of enemy armies, and also dramatically increasing the nobles. A lot of times they're like level 40, right? You can't actually see what level they are, but their stats are through the roof. I would have no doubt that they're level 40. You actually get a little bit of a preview when you marry one of the nobles into your family. We have one so far, Rayma. Rayma is married to Cole, and she is like level 28 or something like that. She's pretty high level. All right, pushing in aggressively here. The enemy looks like the rest of their infantry and archers are cowering in a corner here in a terrified fucking ball. and we're going to take advantage, right? Let's get archers up on these slopes. Now, we're not just going to come over the ridge here and let them pound us with arrows, right? What we're going to do here is two things. I'm dragging a cav division. We're going to bring it behind them to distract them as the rest of our troops set up. It looks like they're panicking. They're running around. They would have been a lot better off just standing still. Instead, they've ran right into our cavalry. So we'll keep these guys occupied now. The next 20 seconds, all I want to do is just kind of knock these guys around while our archers and infantry... In fact, these guys are dead on ready to kill these guys. Fire away. And that crossbow division is literally shooting sitting ducks. So I've got a cav division behind them. We got to get the rest of our infantry and archers up here quick. But these... Northern Empire fucks are fucked. They have a crossbow division now up on a hill firing down into their ranks while our cavalry just kind of rampages here, and the enemy really is just kind of scatterbrained. They're running all over the place. It really wouldn't matter what they did here. They'd be killed, but they'd be far better served. You know what we can do here? Let's trap them. Look at them all jammed against the rocks there. Let's get the 2nd and 3rd cavalry right behind them here, and we're going to trap and destroy this entire force. Nobody's getting out. Look at this jumbled mass. If and when they start to rout, they're just going to run right into a whole bunch of heavy horse, and all of these guys are going to die. I mean, they were going to die anyways, but look at this behind me here. Now there's a whole bunch of cav lined up. We can just slaughter pen these guys. Of course, on the other side, our infantry's boring in, right? They're going crazy over there. Now look at this lord, right? This guy's swinging a nasty mace. And these guys are completely swallowed up. I mean, they literally can't even get out of there. There's just a camel and 6 heavy horsemen here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be the gatekeeper. Nobody gets to go home. This is the opposite of the fire service, right? Our motto is everybody gets to go home, right? We don't kill people in our profession very often anymore. And anybody that comes out of here that's wearing a pink shirt is going to get cut down by Cole here. Cole's a stupid name. No offense if you're named like Cole, or if you're Scottish and your clan Cole or whatever the fuck. It's a stupid name, though, and we'll be adjusting his name soon. Look, they're all getting trampled on the way out of here, and Cole is going to level up his two-handed skill at the expense of these 4 fucking Northern Empire fucks. These bitches are blocking everything. Of course, we need to get Cole a faster axe, right? This fucking noble. Fuck you. I'm just going to cut this guy down. He's blocking everything. They have an immense weapon skill, right? We're fighting nobles. Look at that shit. He almost killed me. He just won't go down either. These guys, a lot of these nobles have 280 to 330 weapon skill, right? So these guys are beasts. It's going to be really fascinating to deal with these nemesis on the battle in this campaign. But that was a devastating destruction of that much larger Northern Empire force, right? They were the ones that attacked us. Maybe you forget, and sometimes I forget with how badly they fought and got destroyed there. You would have thought that we cornered a weak Northern Empire force there, and that was a much bigger force that cornered us and got absolutely destroyed. Look at this shit. This is gorgeous. We're going to overload here. I'm taking all of these troops because I'm going to load up our army here, right? I'm going to load up our companions. We needed something like this bad, right? Our army was starting to get thin. Cole has barely been to a town since he took the reins as the leader of the Banu Azwahir. That is the name of our clan. We may change the name at some point. Of course, we're going to have our own kingdom at some point. And that's probably coming, but Cole's got to get some experience under his belt. You don't want to just become a new leader of a clan that's staggering around the battle map with one city and then instantly declare a kingdom. Otherwise, very bad things will happen. Maybe someday we'll run a campaign like this, and what I'll do is I'll have 2 different branches of it. One where we play sane, and the other one where as soon as we have one city and like 100,000 gold, declare kingdom, right? Just fuck you, and we'd play it. Basically, the ultimate difficulty. Given the difficult settings we're already under here, right? With mature kingdoms, juggernaut enemy lords, enhanced enemy lord armies, etc. I think it's hard enough. Oh shit! You know what? Did we? Okay, there's a few troops. I'm actually going to have to dump some of these troops onto these other armies, right? These other Aserai armies that are with us, because just like you load up on prisoners, generally your companions will load up on prisoners in a battle like that too. You can't actually see it. It happens kind of behind the curtain, so to speak, but all of the nobles in our kingdom just loaded up, except Arwa. Usually they load up. It seemed like the healer loaded up anyways. Wahan the Golden needs some troops here, and Arwen needs some troops. Now, a lot of times I'll skip this, but as I'm doing this little homework, again, you know, for the fellas who are just watching this for the first time, little 45 to 60 second intro here. This campaign is artificial in that we're using a mod called the Strengthen AI mod, and that makes the enemy lords more powerful. It gives them EXP every day, and of course it's fully configurable. I've had a couple episodes that explain kind of how to set this up, and then of course you're free to customize it to however difficult or easy you want the game to be. It's basically like an additional difficulty setting, because a lot of players, especially once they have some advanced battlefield tactics, just completely obliterate vanilla Bannerlord, even on the hardest difficulty. So the enemy lords we're facing are much, much stronger, right? And you'll get a little glimpse at them. I'll show you some of the allied, and what I mean by that is this guy, Guzid. We're not going to do it now. This is already going to take a while, but I'll show you some of these guys from time to time, whether it's Princess Regea, etc., right? We're going to show you some of these highly enhanced lords we're facing, but you can also see it on the battlefield, right? That last battle, that lord was absolutely swinging his mace like a fucking pro, and just wouldn't die, right? He's wearing tough armor. He's got 300 plus hit points, and it makes for a really interesting, more realistic battle, right? If you're fighting enemy lords in this era, they wouldn't all just go down like a paper bag. So we've got precious little influence here, but I do want to add a few armies because our army is starting to get thinned out a little bit here. I'm kind of picky at this stage which armies I'm adding. You can glance at the armies by just holding down Alt, or yeah, it's the Alt button. But generally what I'm seeking here is a mix of infantry and archers because I already have a lot of cavalry. And we've got another Aserai army here, and they just completely, whatever you do, don't deal with the mess here at Oneira. Somebody's sieging, and this coward Aserai force just ran right by them. So we'll do it all, right? Nothing new here. We'll investigate this keep siege here. It's unbelievable. I guess it's because their force was too small to deal with them, but they just go siege somewhere else and completely leave this alone, even though clearly with a little bit of help, they'd be able to take this. We will help these guys round this up here, and then we'll assess this situation with the Sturgeons, right? I'm not just going to barrel in here. These are some big armies here. The Aserai has some large forces. I mean, look at that shit, 359. I think that's the Sultan, Unquid. You know, these forces, they're enhanced as well. So our ally benefits from the Strengthen AI mod. What's not going to benefit, though, is our troops, right? When we declare our own kingdom, we won't receive these benefits, right? Our guys won't get them. Quite frankly, I'm going to turn the Strengthen AI mod off, right? So it only affects the enemy in this early stage. It makes them monster powerful. Now, this will be... sometimes I'm never sure if I'm going to record these, but at least for a little while I'm going to show you some of these. We will probably skip these later in the campaign, but I want to show you how to destroy armies that are likely to turtle. I don't know for sure if they're going to turtle. What I mean by that is move into a highly defensive position, like a turtle, you know, putting its heads and its limbs, pulling the shit into a shell. A lot of times the enemy, when it's outnumbered like this, will do various different things to play defense. I'm going to try to show you in this battle how to deal with it, right? Or at least how I deal with it. Of course, a lot of guys watching the channel are experts at the game. A lot of the guys, hell, are probably better than me. They're just like, you know, seeing if there's anything they can pick up in this game when they watch. I recognize that. But for the fellas who are having a little bit difficult time, or if the fella's just curious how another experienced Bannerlord player goes about it, I'm going to show you. So it's almost numerical. It's lower numbers on the right, on the left, and higher numbers on the right. The 1st and 6th infantry are both kind of skirmisher divisions. We have so many of these Aserai infantry. I see a few legionnaires. There's actually some shock troops in there, so we can actually make our shock troop division bigger. But the 1st and 6th are standard infantry, and what I mean by that is no shock troops, right? There's some guys in there that'll have javelins. I prefer more javelins in the 6th. The 3rd division is shock troops, so almost no shields there. We will protect them with the 2nd cavalry. So on the left, the 2nd cavalry, the 3rd shock troops. Okay, let's see what the enemy does here, and I'll get back to that. 4th archers, 2nd, 3rd, right? And this is just a standard setup that I've developed. 5th and 1st in the center. It does look like they're turtling, but they have some cav wings, so we'll kind of see what they do. 1st and 5th right here. Let's move the 6th, 7th, and 8th off to the right. Then you can sort of see the lower numbers on your, and what I'm referring to is the groups, right? 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Most of the lower numbers are on the left, and I do that consistently. I've got a new mouse that I'm playing with here. I'm still adapting to it. No, I'm not making excuses, but my javelin throwing is off. This guy's nice enough just to stand here with his flag. Well, he's like, it's going right through his ear hole, and he just stands there. We definitely need some more practice with this mouse, but it's supposed to be a nice gaming mouse, and frankly, I need every advantage I can get here. So 1st and 5th in the center, 6th, 7th, 8th off to our right. That's horse archers. The 8th division is some of my best cavalry, and most of them have javelins, so we'll use them to pound the enemy up close. And of course, what we're going to do here is surround the enemy. The enemy almost always has a cav wing, sometimes a horse archer wing that's sort of harassing us here. I don't really want these guys wasting arrows on these guys, but at the same time, this is enough that they could do major damage, right? These are cons guards and whatnot, and they're dangerous to me too. So I'll come in and help a little bit, but we'll just let these guys shoot for a bit, right? These guys they will spray some arrows into the horse archers. But what we're effectively going to do is have the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th on our left, right, moving them up here, just systematically moving up. And I'm doing that in case there's like a cavalry charge or the enemy gets aggressive for some reason. I'm trying to keep our units together, right? You don't want to be divided, we fall. Just like the United States with all its political turmoil, divided, we fall. And that's exactly what China and Russia and North Korea and Iran, these countries are all hoping and praying that the United States and other Western cultures get divided, and destroy themselves from within. All right, better stick to tactics here. We'll save the political rants for less exciting moments. Still getting used to Cole. I'm not even used to saying the guy's name here. Still getting used to his axe swinging speed. He has like 150 or 130 two-hand skill. Look at this noble. I can't even catch the guy. See how fast that guy was running? I gotta get out of here. I'm gonna get killed. I'm already down to a quarter health. I'm also not used to how weak he is. I think he has 130 hit points, give or take. So we've got to be a little bit careful with him, right? It's almost still training wheel stage. Now you see those cav wings. There's one wing over there, and there's another wing over here attacking us. That's why I have our divisions together, right? That way the cav units can attack them at the same time. Over here, this horse archer division can help, and we will charge with the 8th Corps, right? Basically tell them, kill these fucking guys, right? Once their cav wings are destroyed, then we can deal with the main body of their infantry. Here's another lord, and try to take all of them out if we can. This is a lot of Sturgeon heavy cavalry, right? And that's a function of the strength and AI mod. These, if you're in Vanilla Bannerlord at this stage of a campaign, before you have a kingdom, very often you're going to be fighting armies that are 30 to 50% tier 1 and tier 2, right? They just look like a whole bunch of peasants that just stopped blacksmithing for an hour to go out on the battlefield, and it's kind of depressing as a player. I think it's kind of depressing anyways. It just doesn't feel like a battle. These are going to feel like monster battles in our campaign, right? 80% tier 3, 4, 5, probably 70% tier 4, 5, and 6, right? Mostly upper tier units. And you can see just when you get close, almost every guy has armor, has a big old giant sturgeon spear. I couldn't kill a single guy there, right? Normal vanilla Bannerlord, you definitely axe a guy down there because he's a peasant holding the sickle. You can't even block. He doesn't have a shield, right? So, very different game. But we dig it, right? It's going to make for some gnarly battles. I see you coming, bitch. The ultimate difficulty, by the way, and I'm not going to do it probably because it'll be hard for guys to see what the fuck is going on, is to change the setting where it removes the slow-mo for orders. You can play like that, and it's obviously a lot more authentic, but for those watching, it's just incredibly difficult to tell what's going on because the battle is so much faster every time I do something. By the way, that was intentional. See a guy clearly holding his shield up, just take his horse out, right? And suddenly you have a very weak infantryman by himself surrounded by archers. Our companions are gaining level, right? Hopefully we don't get any fatalities in big battles like this. It's definitely inevitable we're going to have some. All right, so here comes the surrounding division here. The 2nd and 3rd have this nice hill for cover, so we'll put those cav and the shot. Oh shit, they're charging in. Good. Let's back the 1st and the 5th up. We're going to kite these bitches. 6th behind them, surround them. This is a modified kill box, right? The skirmishers here are now sent behind the enemy, as well as the 7th Horse Archers and 8th Cavalry. What we're eventually going to do here is surround the enemy. Now, they have archers here that we're going to assail with these Horse Archers and our cav. Basically, just going to keep them occupied, right? That main body of infantry is what I'm worried about, though. You can see it stretches across the whole field, and there's a lot of elite units in there, right? That's 400 or 500 infantry. So we're backing our infantry up, right? We don't need our infantry to get destroyed. Just going to have our cavalry sit there at range, throwing javelins into them. Just like these guys are also throwing javelins. That's why you see all the death spam. Over here, here's what we're going to do with this side. We're going to steamroll. We'll let our Horse Archers and 8th Corps just deal with the archers. I'm literally just sending them right into their midst. Here, it's the 2nd Cavalry leading for the 3rd. This is actually the 4th. Let's get these guys pushed away, a little away. Those are crossbow units that can charge. They're out of ammo. So the 2nd is just standing there for the moment. They're blocking javelins. They're blocking throwing axes because our shock troops are getting ready to charge. Now comes the rest of the surrounding, right? We're going to drag 2 cav divisions. The 6 skirmishers are coming in. The 1st division's on the other side. They're going to bore in. And the main thrust is going to be the 2nd and 3rd all at the same time in a simultaneous destructive assault. Every sturgeon dies. They are completely surrounded. Their archers are kept busy, and the screen fills with green. They get an occasional kill, right? These are tough units, but none are making it out, right? I mean, this battle was a foregone conclusion, but this is how you minimize casualties. They are being hemmed in and butchered. I mean, every sturgeon has 4 guys attacking them, swinging an axe on their face. And, of course, we weakened them at range before this, right? We might as well use every advantage we have. Cole likes fighting on foot. You're going to see Cole fighting on foot an awful lot in this campaign, especially in battles like this where he can just level up. This is farming, right? I admit. We're just getting up his 2-hand skill. I'm tired of swinging it like it's 45-pound axe. And that's that. And the screen fills with green. I'm surprised they're actually getting the kills they are. I think partly that's because they have high-level units. These are not the kind of armies that you can just insta-kill with no casualties. We have had some battles on the channel, right, with no casualties. It's only happened 4 or 5 times to me where we're facing a force of 1,000 that have no casualties. But these armies are too strong to destroy like that. You just, I mean, maybe if we outnumbered them, much worse. Or had, 100 Britannian Fiend Champs or something. But we'll take these results, right? This is 2 destructive victories here for Cole. Racking up skill points, racking up prisoners. In fact, we have too many prisoners. I have a bit of a prisoner overload here. We need to skill up his little recruiting perks and whatnot. By the way, speaking of perks, at the end of this episode, I'm going to include a lengthy... I don't know if it'll be lengthy, but it'll be a component covering some of the upgrades we're going to make. I'm actually not going to upgrade perks, or I'm going to try not to upgrade perks during the episode, and we will do a whole bunch of perk upgrades for Cole. We will distribute focus and attribute points for characters, and talk a little bit about characters at the end of this episode. Okay, so let's go to this town here. Let's sell off some of these prisoners here and try to figure out our next objective. Right now, of course, it's hard to go on the offensive because we're surrounded by enemies. I think we're at war with 4 or 5 kingdoms. Of course, the Southern Empire, we're at war with them because we fucking sacked and burned Physion. If you missed the last episode, you missed a lot. That's all I'm going to say. But we're not at war with the Southern Empire as well. And you need to go see that episode. It's critical to the storyline, but it's also just a really fun episode. I'm going to start selling some higher-end loot here because money has been a real problem in this campaign. I know a lot of guys experience money problems in Bannerlord. Obviously, early in a campaign, your fiefs are not making you a lot of money. We only have 1 fief, and generally, without selling equipment, we would be broke in like 3 or 4 months. Or one game year is probably a better way to say that, right? It's 4 months for a year or something like that. Maybe it's 80 days for a year or something. I'm looking for just the right companion, and honestly, I don't see it. I would love to see a companion that has like 80 archers and then a bunch of shock troops, but I think you can't look a gift horse in the mouth. Some of these guys have some decent troops, so we'll add them. The reason I'm adding them is that there are juggernaut armies out there. It might seem strange. The only thing that's happening right now is this Physion siege. But the Vlandians are here. The Southern Empire is at war with us. The Northern Empire has had huge armies already, and the Western Army has had, Western Empire has had huge armies, right? So we're loading up here to make sure that we can handle gigantic battles, because it could be right around the corner. Look at the size of Unquid's force. Look at this one, running from Siga Truda party. So, well, there you go, right? It's not a huge army. I mean, that's a big army, no doubt, but it's not huge, but that's big enough that I'm glad I got some reinforcements, right? Now, this is perfect. What we're going to do here is just slide in behind these Vlandians so they can't escape, and then as soon as we're close enough, that coward Aserai force should turn and help us attack here. There we go. And we get another chance to come to grips with these Vlandians. Now, this would normally be a slaughter. Look at this shit, though. 303 banner knights, 126 sharpshooters. These Vlandian forces are absolutely incredibly stacked, and their lords are all massively high level. Not only do they have the strength and AI mod, again, I'll do these perks later. I keep forgetting. I'm going to try to do it all later on. So these Vlandians have been winning battles almost since the start of this campaign. They've just been expanding almost nonstop, and so of course their leaders, their lords, have incredible stats, right? All right, well, another huge battle here against the Vlandians, and it's just tossing us right in, right? We get no time to prepare, but we'll adapt, right? The 7th is horse archers. We will, let's see, 2nd, 3rd, and 8th. We will again use cavalry. We'll split the little tiny archer division into the 4th and 5th. I have a pitifully few archers. We need to go get some archers. I'm not sure if they've been killed. The other thing that's going on here is we're with allied forces. So this is going to be hard for a number of different reasons. They have 500 cavalry charging us right now. It's almost entirely cavalry. They had some horse archers and archers, but mostly cavalry. So who knows what the allied forces are going to do here? That makes me uncomfortable. In fact, this is a battle we could lose. We're outnumbered by the Vlandians alone, and who knows what the fuck these other Aserai forces are going to do. So we'll play tentative until we see what they're going to do. We'll try to hold this the right wing and kind of hope our ally does something here. Sometimes you can't tell. I think that's them. They're kind of backpedaling. He said wall now, right? These guys they're doing weird shit. I've got 2 separate cav divisions here that are basically going to hold back the hordes. Right, we're going to slow down the enemy hordes and then attack them with archers and shock troops. Very basic strategy, but it works, right? That's why I keep doing it. We'll move the 1st in here. These guys can start throwing javelins. The enemy is hugely split here. Their forces are running all over the battlefield. Now, I can't make the enemy or the allied infantry attack. So this is a time where I want all of the enemy or all of the allied forces attacking, and they may not. Let's get our division in here. Charge. See, those are the allied forces, and they're going to stand there. So it's almost like we're fighting the Vlandians here with one hand tied behind our back. I've got the 6th coming over around the corner here because I'm trying to pen some of these guys up, but the enemy, unfortunately, they're sort of confronting them here. And we have a giant fracas on our hand early in this episode, or early in this battle. It's kind of chaos. I wish I could tell you that I had like this immaculate plan, but when you're fighting with an ally, who knows what they're going to do, right? I've got archers back here. They're doing a good job, and ironically, they have a nice little support division, unintentional allied support division there, cavalry. They'll probably run, though, if they get attacked. There's still a massive amount of cavalry over there. The death spam looks good, though, right? These shock troops especially destroy cavalry. God damn it. Did not mean to do that. Get back on your horse. The death spam looks great, right? But it's still early. We'll see. The Vlandians have really good staying power so far in this campaign. I've just noticed it. I've been thinking I'm winning battles and then we get crushed. And part of the reason is they have such high-level troops and lords. Now, their cavalry is getting thrashed in this battle, right? It's a mess. Trying to level up my throwing skill here. Stand still. There we go. We're getting up there. 133 throwing skill. I need to give him another stack of javelins, but right now we're using shield, spear, and an axe. What do we got going on here? It's a fucking mess. There's troops everywhere, of course, because not only is the enemy all over the place, but the allied troops are just doing their own thing, right? These guys are just, they don't believe in cooperation. It's just not a part of their lexicon. And so there's just little tiny fruckuses all over the place. It's just kind of a messy, chaotic battlefield. Heads are flying everywhere. I see enemy reinforcements coming, and now I'm starting to see sharpshooters and infantry coming forward. So we're going to take a position on this high ridge here and hope and just pray that the enemy, or that the allied AI does something here, right? Make an attack, do something so that we can use them effectively, so that we can know that they're part of the battle. That first battle, a lot of their units were literally standing back while we were fighting for our lives. Very frustrating. We do have the battle size mod running still, right? So the battlefield has a titanic amount of troops. It looks epic, right? I'm looking out, and that literally looks like a scene from any movie I've ever seen. There are fucking troops running everywhere. The whole battlefield is covered with troops. You almost can't see any open spots because there's just troops everywhere. I mean, the Vlandians are spread out in a huge arc. And cut down some of these guys. They're regrouping, and this is just free fucking skill points for my axe. It looks like they're forming a huge position, a huge defensive position. So hopefully our high elevation here helps our archers. We don't have very good archers. I need to get Cole a little bit better archers. Some guys have expressed a desire to see me play this campaign with only Aserai troops. And I'm not going to do that for a couple reasons. I think it would be too difficult. We already have a bunch of challenging things. However, there are going to be potentially 2, maybe even 3 side series that come off of this campaign. In other words, I'm going to use the theme, or we'll call it the set, right? If this is a theater, if this is entertainment, we're going to use this theater set for 2 other plays. The first, let's see if we can kill some of these guys. I don't like our Cavs' chances though. Yeah, they got fucking raked. We're going to use this campaign and the background, these high-level enemy lords and powerful enemies, to have a peasants revolt, probably. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that one, but definitely we're going to do basically a little side series where we play a campaign with javelin-only units. In other words, no shock troops, no archers, and we're just going to fuck around and have some battles and try to win, keep siege with javelin-only units, right? Fighting against massive-sized troops, and we're going to have tons of infantry. I am going to use cavalry. Some guys are like, well, you can't use cavalry then. Well, if they have javelins, I sure as fuck can. Not to mention, I'm the one who makes the... Look at this motherfucker coming up couch-lanced. Fuck you. That's an enemy lord. Oh, shit. I gotta remember how tough these guys are. Did you see how much damage he did? He hit me... I don't even know how much it was, but it was a lot. And he won't go down, right? I've clobbered him with my axe. And he's just like shaking his head. No, didn't hurt me. Their cav is kind of loose in my archer ranks here. I was trying to get to a flank here. Motherfucker tried to kill me. I was trying to get to a flank so we could help out our ally, but I don't think our ally's engaging. And instead, the enemy's engulfing our troops. I've got 2 different infantry divisions here attacking, but this was not my plan. And they have tons of archers. And of course, every single fuck is a tier 5 or 6. Where's the... I don't actually see allied troops. I think they're in the center there on the hills, but it's so hard to tell in the chaos. Man, this is a hard battle to decipher. We're just going to start getting aggressive. F1, F3 is not the worst strategy right here, to be honest. Our units are already in place. They have some advantageous placing. This is very risky, but I'm going to try to cut down some of these elite archers. They really do look like they're unmolested. I don't have the cavalry to attack these guys, right? We lost a lot of our cavalry in those initial waves. That was one of the advantages that the enemy did have there by killing so many, or by having so many banner knights, is they killed a lot of our cavalry. There's a lot of cavalry on cavalry battle. Look at the death span. Man, it looks bad. I just don't feel like I have my troops on the battlefield. Is this even my troops? I got archers. Second is in a good position, but they're getting swallowed up. I mean, the enemy cav is just boring in. Our infantry just looks like it vanished. Okay, the ally does have some archers. It just kind of... There's a smattering of allied archers just kind of loose here in the middle. We're losing this battle. Fuck. Let's get archers higher up. We're going to start getting reinforcements. I know we still have a lot of troops left on the field. A lot of our infantry is just kind of in the middle of a maelstrom, and I can't help them. If I have them retreat, they'll all be annihilated. Of course, you never want to retreat under, right directly in the face of so many allied troops. I've got a sliver of health here. They're shooting. I actually thought they might be like on hold fire or something because the death spam looks so bad. I think the enemy is just tough. All right, a bunch of camels just arrived. The cavalry just arrived. Right, let's roll, boys. Oh God, their infantry vanguard is just a steamroller here in the middle. Those are coming right for our archers. Let's get this cav here and try to disrupt these guys. Fuck, they've got archers pushing all over the place. We're gonna lose this battle. Come on, boys. Let's go. Don't give up. Fuck you. Block that. We can do the old crossover step where they fucking try to block one way, attack them from the other. I just looked down. I have so little health. If I could just bob and weave here a little bit longer, I can get these positioned up on this hill. Let's get archers set up here with a cav line to protect them. We can get 2 infantry divisions. One attacking infantry division, and then 1 division where it can be basically in a square, absorbing a lot of the enemy attention here. God, these guys are all trying to kill me too. It's almost like they know that I have almost no health. Just carving a path through here. Well, that was inevitable. All right, what do we get here? No, I'm not taking a little archer. Give me a horseman or a palace guard or something. This guy will have to work. At least he's got a full health bar. I think this is an Aserai veteran Ferris or Ferris. Let's get these archers higher up here. They need a better angle to shoot. I've got some cav here. We can break the cav into 2 different divisions, and what we can do with that cavalry is put some on the wing here to attack the enemy, and the other one to hold a defensive line here so our archers can rally out. We've got to get these archers up this hill. Man, they're low-level archers, too. The infantry is just on F1, F3, right? I could try to form a line here, but I think it's better if I just charge. It seems like there's enough of them that they'll do a pretty good impact here if they just charge. They're low level, but if they charge, strength in numbers, boys. The archer's got a good position here. God, the death spam looks bad. Get in there, boys. We just can't have another loss to the Vlandians in a big battle here. We have 2 armies here. We've got to be able to win this battle. All right, let's push these cav to the side here. Let's try to get a flank on them. Let's get the other division. It's the 6th to the enemy's left, and we can sandwich these guys. The infantry's making some gains here, right? We have a huge amount of infantry just fucking driving into the enemy. Let's crank in the sides here with cavalry. Half of them ran the wrong way. That's why I manually control these guys a lot. I gotta switch weapons here to be able to throw javelins. I just looked up. We got this shit. Come get some, motherfucker. Wow, that was fucking stressful. You can see, you get an idea watching that battle there. We dramatically, maybe not dramatically, but we significantly outnumbered the Vlandians here, and we barely won this battle. Look at their units block everything. Their nobles are elite. Look at this fucking guy. That's like a tier 2 infantry, and I could not kill that guy. But at this stage, Cole will also win ugly, right? The baseball or sports term is winning ugly, where it wasn't exactly your best game plan and things didn't go real well. I thought we were going to rip them up here. Look at these fucking guys. And part of the reason they have such high weapon skill is because they're amplified by these lords, right? Just like you get high-level perks. Look at this fucking guy just wailing away on me. Just like you get high-level perks for your units as your units get high-level, right? Anybody who's played a Bannerlord campaign to the deep stages of it, your character has like 290 in 8 or 9 areas and 270 weapon skill and 300 leadership. Your troops get massive benefits, massive perks when you're the captain, etc. And it shows right here, right? These Vlandians, we barely obtained a 1-to-1 KDR here. In fact, we didn't quite obtain a 1-to-1 KDR. Now, no deaths, so like I said, we'll win ugly, but that really was ugly. I mean, those Vlandians, quite honestly, they kicked our ass. Let me see these guys. Let's look at this shit. Look at this shit. 288. So he's got almost 300 in multiple skill sets. 352 steward. That's also being amplified by the strength and AI mod. It's actually going above the hard cap. I'm not doing anything, fellas, I promise. If you use the strength and AI like I am, you should experience the same thing. Which is going to be fun. Understand, I'm not complaining. I'm just pointing out that that battle was a lot harder than it may have looked like. Not great loot, but we'll take a few of these armor pieces. We're still collecting stuff for future companions. I'm going to also have to deck out companions and equipment. We need to sell some shit, sell some loot here. Our money situation is pretty dire. There's one Vlandian going to get away. Sigertruda, fucking coward, runs away. And there's kind of chaos here. Both of our armies are beat up. The Northern Empire is here in large numbers, even though they don't have big armies. They have tons of little armies running around, assaulting our units. It feels like the Vietnam era for army. U.S. forces had much better, stronger forces, and they're just getting ambushed and fucking assailed in guerrilla warfare. Oh, nice. We just had another army join us. So we've got a sizable force now. I no longer feel vulnerable. But this area is highly hazardous up here, right? We could get cornered very easily. And I think if you look at the strategic map, it makes most sense for us to go to Physion, right? I don't see any sieges in the south. The north seems secure. I'm not sure who's sieging at Saronia. I guess we can find out here. We just go to Vlandia. Okay, we do a little deductive reasoning, and it must be Khazate, right? Because we're obviously the only other kingdom they're at war with, so the Khazate are driving in on the Vlandians, which is good. We need somebody to help fight this juggernaut kingdom. If it was only us, I don't know if we win. They're sending non-stop giant stacks of armies full of elite troops with massively powerful lords. It makes for an epic campaign. I hope you fellas are enjoying, because I'm totally enjoying this campaign. I mean, I've played Bannerlord hundreds of hours, and this just feels like a different game, right? It feels like Bannerlord on hell mode. So speaking of Vlandians, right? These fuck Vlandians just took Physion. Now, I don't give a shit about this city, but I want to kill these Vlandians. So we're going to try to bait and destroy these fucks. Perfect. Come get some. Now, they're not going to attack us, but I got a nice little trick up my sleeve here. A lot of you guys probably already know this, but we're going to go ahead and assassinate this Vlandian force. How do you do it? You do it with a fucking attacking division, right? We're going to turn, I was going to say my wife. We're going to turn Cole's mother. I guess R was his mother. We're going to turn her into a destroying Sikkim dog against the enemy. So I took all of her prisoners and troops, and now we're going to give her about 80 or 90 cavalry with one job. Her one job is to fucking catch this Vlandian force. We get in a little autosave here. What I'm basically going to do here is drag this force. Hopefully they follow us a little bit more. Come on, thinking. Good. Come this way, Vlandia. And now we will release our attack dog, right? R was let loose. Now, see how she's, it says disorganized? They're actually foolishly chasing her. That's the worst thing they could do. Now they for sure are dead. But even if they ran towards the citadel, she would catch them. And it would allow us to catch them and destroy this force. Look at the power bar. That's amazing. We outnumber them 2-1, and we're barely favored. So I'm going to fight this battle out as well. I'm not going to do a ton of these. Like I said earlier, this won't be a 20-minute battle. This will be like a 5-minute battle. But I'm going to show you fellas. Of course, it doesn't let me set up my units again. This is frustrating. I don't think this will be the case once we're our own kingdom. I think every time you get to be the commander of all the troops. But we shall see. So I'm not going to do a massive amount of time in dividing here, just sort of the standard divisions. They don't have to be super precise. And we'll see what the Vlandians do here, right? We're going to surround and drown. If they're cav charges, we will have shield walls of cav with infantry behind them, and then archer support. And if they play defensive, of course, it's going to be a redo of that Sturgeon battle, only it's going to be much quicker, right? A little bit of kiting, and I'm going to play it much more aggressively because we have much more troops. They do look like they're playing defensive. Make sure here you don't want to charge an opponent that's charging you. They have lots of archers and infantry here, so we will move up aggressively and surround these bitches. Now, this has some instructional value, but I'm also doing this because I'm still feeling my way with Cole. As you play Bannerlord in the Kingdom campaign, most of you guys recognize this too, it starts to feel like rehearsal, right? Like you've already done a lot of this and you get better and better and better at it. You notice what your units are capable of. You notice shortcomings or mistakes you made. And that's going to be really important for us in this campaign because our enemies are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, right? Their lords getting stronger and stronger. They're consolidating kingdoms and building up huge doom stacks of armies. So we're going to have a really strong ability to command our smaller armies, right? We're going to be outnumbered a lot of this campaign. That's just all there is to it. Now, I'm being a little bit clumsy with these lines, but again, all we're doing is forming a C, and I'm going to give these 3 or 4, let's see, I think we can use all 4 cav divisions on the right, one job, and that is to destroy their cav unit, right? They have like 250, I didn't actually see how many it was. They had a bunch of cavalry over there, and it's all on one side, and we're going to destroy these guys. They got 3 cavalry over here. I'll ride this flag bearer down, and then we will take care of the rest of their cavalry. Now the rest of the troops are just going to spar, right? Infantry and shield walls, and then archers firing away. Infantry and shield wall in the front. All of this is standard stuff. I probably shouldn't even mention it. We are going to try to get an angle with the 4th Corps. We're going to try to get them around to the side here. But we have these 3 cav divisions, right? The 2nd, 3rd, and 8th, and horse archers. The horse archers we can actually put behind the enemy, and they'll just sit there plinking the enemy at range. I need these guys to engage, though. They're actually circling as we circle in on them. The enemy's being kind of cagey here. Attack, you fucking coward. We need more archers. I need to be able to make the enemy in some of these situations attack, right? It's one of the critical strategies I like to play out in a game. Now, I am going to use shock troops like I haven't used before, right? We're going to have massive amounts of shock troops. Our army at some point might have 40% shock troops in it, right? We're going to have a giant shock troop division, the Legion of Boom. Our 3rd division is probably going to be our biggest division in some of these battles, and there's some chance that I have 2 shock troop divisions. I might even make it like the 6th Corps, and we'll just have 1 small skirmisher division, the 1st. Come attack. Yeah, I finally baited these guys. All right, we're going to let them attack our shield wall in the front here, right? We're just basically going to hold them in place with the big shield wall, all those guys trying to stay alive. Then we're going to surround them with 2 cav divisions and the horse archers, right? It's really basically a hammer and anvil of cavalry. But the main reason we're doing this is to surround them, right? We don't want any of these cavalry alive when we kill the rest of their forces. Enemy cavalry running through your archers, right? They just cause a huge amount of damage and interruptions. We're not having it. They do have some cavalry attacking over there, so we can charge at the 3rd. But look at how badly these Vlandians are now surrounded, right? They're attacking the line there at the center. The horse archers are behind them, and we're going to drag this cav division directly behind them. And hammer and anvil, right? Give them hell. And the enemy's still inflicting a lot of casualties. Again, this speaks to the power of these Vlandian units, right? They have incredibly high-level units, and I think more importantly, their commanders have very high-level perks. All right, so a little bit of kiting of the main body here, but this battle's over. We're going to be able to drive in here shortly with the 3rd. In fact, I probably should have just had them charge. Some of our infantry here is actually getting caught up. That's the 1st. Let's go ahead and just destroy these guys. So bring the 3rd in. We don't need to get archers butchered, though, so we'll pop those guys out of the battle. They can just go take a break, right? They can go to the locker room here. Look at all their units. It's billmen, it's fucking pikemen, it's sergeant. They just have all tier 5 units. Sergeant. Fuck you guys. Legionary. Well, it's not going to matter or help them here. As tough as they are with all these tier 5 and 6 units, they're still butchered. We're going to fucking level up our athleticism here a little bit, kick some guys, and seize the day here. And I think in this campaign at this stage, I've got to take a little break. I don't actually have to piss or anything like that. I'm at work. It's always dangerous for me to play at work, right? I can get a call. Now, I have become quite adept at simply pausing the music and the battle, pausing the recording, and then a little fancy editing later on. You guys may not even notice it, right? It's almost like a blip. If you notice little skipping or little skips where the screen kind of moves, that's probably what's going on, right? I probably had a call. Even just a phone call, right? Sometimes I have to pop up. I try not to play at work, but my wife and I are in the process of buying a house, and I haven't had the time to play. So I'm trying to add some material here by playing at work. That's part of the reason I haven't been streaming episodes. I'm hoping, and I say hoping, to stream early, maybe February. I know that's a long time for you fellas to wait. Streaming for sure is not my number one priority. I will try to stream some of this campaign though, but I just don't have the time right now. I think it's a good time here. This is perfect because I'm going to go to this castle. This is one of our castles where I've been sort of stockpiling all kinds of units. There's a bunch of cavalry there. There's a bunch of archers there. We're going to restock our army there, reload our companions here. I need to hit a city. We'll probably run down to Vostrum. I may or may not show you some of that. I may fast forward some of that, sell some loot here, and then go deal with one of these locations that's under siege. Whatever you do, Thul, don't help. Look, he's going to run right by Oneira again, even though they're under siege. Man, is that frustrating. Just let me do it all. I mean, it's good for EXP, but I also feel like a parent of 7 special need kids. This garrison is going to be thinned out pretty bad at Danustica, but we're working up a sizable militia force, and of course it's centrally located, so in the short term I don't mind it being sort of reduced garrison. I mean, the bottom line is that we're at a perilous stage of this campaign. We need lots of forces in the field, and I don't feel like I can just leave it with 400 troops. So I'm gonna adjust the music a little bit here. I got my Scott Buckley playlist. This guy's an amazing musician. If you want some nice background music for your campaign, and let's talk some perks here, right? I've got this long list of characters to talk some perks, and we're going to go through these. Now I'm gonna kind of blaze through these. This is like 30 or 40 perks. You know, I want extra hit points almost anytime I have the choice, right? We're basically gonna blow through these in a hurry. And by the way, I'm keeping those skill points for later on. So anytime I can get more ammunition from my character, I'm almost always gonna take it. Even though less damage is nice, we're gonna take more javelins with our main character, right? You know how much I like throwing javelins. Even though those other perks are nice, that's actually a tough choice. We'll take more javelins. A lot of these don't matter much, although a lot of people would say take prisoners. I don't care about prisoners. I'm not concerned about keeping 157 noblemen in the prisons of our kingdom. Why? For the same reason that we're playing with all these other disadvantages. I think it'd be too easy, so I'm just not concerned about keeping prisoners held in a dungeon forever. Being staggered while mounted, that's a nice thing, but look at that, +5 armor to all equipped armor. That is a superior perk in my opinion. The other one is just armor to mounts. You'll see me over and over again. You'll see some themes. I don't give a shit about the armor of my cavalry, right? Almost never cavalry are getting wiped out. This is one of the most obvious ones in the whole game, right? You're taking extra endurance. In fact, now we go back in here and look, he's up to 10, right? So his athleticism and riding are going to rock it. And those skill points, like I said, we may add those to smithing. I'm going to keep 2 or 3 in the bank. Less influence to calling an army or more morale. See, in almost any time party size, I will take that. However, early on in this campaign, this is one of those perks I will change. Early on, we're going to have the less influence to call an army. And then later in the campaign, I will change that. Once we have lots of influence, then we will change it to a larger party size. Discarded weapons, increased experience, or morale. See, I don't give a shit about morale because we're almost never going to have routing troops. That's almost never a thing. This is another one that's automatic, right? We don't care about old age. We don't have very many clan members that are old. That's 45% increase of healing because we have all 9 food types. That's way more valuable. Now, of course, that has to be your surgeon. And in this case, it's not going to be for a little while. Now, Arwa's got 2 points here, and there's a bunch of different arguments of what I could use here, right? I could increase her pole arm. I could increase all these different skills. I'm leaning towards medicine, but I also can give her a better ability to defend herself, right? Sword and and shield. That means she'll help in a keep siege, she'll help in open field battles, and she'll get more skills that way. Now I want that medicine one because of the extra healing and extra hit points, right? That's very important after battle. So this is a shock troop, right? Shock unit. We're going to give him as many points as we can on vigor, throwing, and two-handed, right? Those are the three things we're concerned about: athletics, two-handed, and throwing. And most of the points, and by the way, of course, that's automatic again, right? We're going endurance. Most of the points we're going to be putting into vigor with our warriors. We want them fucking people up and gaining all the perks for their troops. Another warrior here, Brynja the Shield Maiden. Headshot damage. Yeah, that's probably better, right? She's killing people with headshots with their javelin throws. Now her perks are maxed, right? So now what, right? Some people would say, well, let's do pole arm. Let's give her a pole arm. The other option is this, right? We can give her medicine, make her a party for, a week of game time, and she will gain those healing perks. Very valuable for her to heal after battle. This guy, I think he's a cavalry. He's a mounted. This is the Brother of Cold. I think he's going to be mounted most of the time, so we'll give him skills that relate to mounting. That not the bedroom, fellas. That's not what I'm talking about. So this is an automatic one for me here, right? I want armor penetration over rotating speed. I don't give a shit about that. Similar here, rotating accuracy. I want our guys shooting faster, right? Shooting faster is more damage, even if they're missing a little bit more. If they're shooting more, that's better. Let's see here. A lot of these don't matter. This one I couldn't give a shit less. The only thing you could argue is that +5 loyalty. Maybe he's going to be the governor for a week. A lot of these really you could flip a coin. This one here, I almost always choose speed for a party, right? If he's leading a party, I want them to move faster, so we'll take the speed party bonus. Again, same thing here, sweeping wind, 2% party speed. You're almost always going to see me take that. Speed kills in the campaign map. If you get caught by huge armies, you're a dead man. And if you can run down armies, of course, it's going to help. And we're always taking extra hit points, even over combat movement speed, right? I want my troops to have more hit points. That is key to winning battles. This is one of our healers, and look at her go, right? She has 2 fucking attribute points. We're going to pile into intelligence, of course, and then her medicine skills are going to be taken off. I think she started with 120 or 90. She's already doubled it. So we do want her to have a modicum of throwing ability, that she's going to gain some EXP that way, right? She can be in our shock troops or in our skirmisher division, kind of run when the battle gets scary. Let's see, steward skill. Some of these, again, these low-level skills don't matter that much. And of course, some people would say, let's add some points to her steward. I will do that eventually, right? We will get her to 5 on that. Okay, again, anytime speed on the battlefield map, you're going to see me take that almost every single time. Leadership skill here. I think usually these parties are more threatened when they're being attacked, so I want them to have more morale when they're being attacked. But again, morale should not be an option most of the time. Maybe to units that are being, if they're out there on their own, right? Let's see, less food or less wages. Some of these really don't matter at all to me. So this one does, right? Healing when the party morale is above 70. Our morale is usually going to be above 70, so you get 15% almost all the time, or only 20% when you sit in a settlement, right? This one's another one of those that's obvious for me, right? We're definitely going to run with that. 50% of troops getting killed. Yeah, that's a huge one, right? If you get bombarded and 50 of your troops get blown up by a fire catapult, you lose a lot less of them. This is another one. Again, you could flip a coin. It's nice to have more settlement prosperity. The Hearth Village growth is nice too. That means they recover quicker after being raided. This one is another one you could totally flip a coin. She will be a governor from time to time, right? Some of these characters I'm designing as governors. They will lead parties and they will be governors of places where we need help. Again, she's never going to be helping old clan members, so we will do the recovery rate for extra food, right? Lots of food in our inventory. That means she's going to be helping her group heal very quickly. Okay, another governor here is Zahara the Spice Vendor, so we're starting to pile up points into medicine and steward. She's got a modicum of combat ability. In fact, she's actually a good crossbow woman, right? She can run around pretty fast and shoot her crossbow. It's nice for them to have some skills, but of course we want to pile up her social, right? We want to pile those skills up in her medicine ability. Getting staggered. Yeah, so if your crossbowmen get shot and they stop firing, that's a problem, right? So I want her crossbow units. It's unlikely she'll be leading a crossbow division, but if she is, this is going to help, right? There's a chance the other guy is off doing something, and what I mean is the other crossbow guy. I'll get to him in a second. So I'm also going through and making sure that these guys are all specced out. Destor the Bull, what do you think he's going to do, right? This guy's going to be blasting his way, leading a group. So we're going to pile up points in athleticism and particularly one hand. Eventually we will give this guy some two hand. Right now it's all athleticism and one hand. A little bit of throwing. Let's see. I know this is not the most exciting part, but some guys want to see this. Of course, the next 5 or 10 minutes are going to be dedicated to this, so you're welcome to skip this. So look at this guy here. This is a good glimpse of what the Strengthened AI mod does. I didn't do anything to this guy. We married him into the family. Trying to remember. I think he married Mata. So he's a little pissed off too. Wahan the Golden. This guy hopefully is my lieutenant. Now, this guy obviously could get killed in battle. He's getting up there in age, too. We're going to marry this guy off, hopefully make some high-level kids. Again, extra hit points for an army. We're always taking that. Now, we're starting to pile up his points in social intelligence. Why? Because this guy is going to be fighting in the open field on his own. You have to remember that some of these guys are eventually going to be lords within the kingdom, right? So that's why he has tactics. You would never have tactics on a guy that's just in your army. I'm planning on this guy leading armies of 1,000 plus down the road, and so we're giving him points on tactics. This is thinking about the long game here. All of these skills and tactics that help him with the auto-resolve, well, every battle where you're not in it, they benefit from the auto-resolve. So we're going to give this guy a lot of points to tactics, even though he only has 3 in cunning. Movement speed to armies called to your army, and minus 15 influence. That's big, right? That means he can cheaply recruit an army. That's a hugely important perk. The other one is nice, but this is way more important. He's going to be calling large armies, and he's going to be using a lot of influence. This one, again, we talked about that just a second ago. Some of these, of course, are duplicated, and I'm just going to blaze through them. You could flip a coin on that one. So here's our crossbow division leader, right? And so we're piling points into his crossbow. Now, strangely enough, he has 5 riding, right? That's kind of worthless. Or not 5 riding, 5 endurance. I mean, it's not worthless, but you don't really want a bunch of endurance for your crossbow guy. He's standing still, but that's the way it is. And so it's not going to hurt, right? We can power up his athletics. He'll get some of the nice perks. And it's nice for him to regenerate hit points when we're traveling. I'm always selecting that because our army is very rarely hanging out at an inn somewhere, right? We're cutting people down and moving on. This one is another one of those I don't think it matters, right? I'm just sort of blazing through the ones that I don't think are that important. Another one of our meatheads here, right? Our jarheads leading the frontline troops. What are we going to do? Of course, we're going to pile into vigor. We'll do a little bit of throwing, right? We can boost his throwing up, but one-handed throwing and athletics until those are maxed, and maybe medicine. Although all I got to do is give him a group and he will get that medicine perk. He's already got that one focus point there. So his two-handed eventually will pour. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make this guy a polearm guy. I want to have a few polearm units in the infantry. It's nice to have like a Manavliaton perk or 4 in the infantry. So we're going to start leveling up his Manavliaton skills. Now, we already have our shock troop guy, right? This perk, again, this could go either way. We have our shock troop guy in Jaim the Prince, but it's nice to have backups. Dudes get killed, you want to have a backup, right? If your wife gets in a car accident, you should have that mistress that you're thinking about, right? All of you should have a girl that you're ready to call as soon as your wife No, of course, fellas. That's a bad joke. Hopefully none of your girlfriends or wives ever have anything bad happen to them. All right, this surgeon guy, he'll be one of the last governors. Now look at this list. I want to go through this before we wrap this up. Jaim the Prince, warrior, right? Shock troop leader. Brynja the Shield Maiden, warrior. Taya Willowbark, she's going to be a governor, but also a party leader of really strong high medicine perks. Destor the Bull, guess, leader, right? Our group leader. Sahara the Spice Vendor, governor. Wahan the Golden, hopefully future clan leader. Right, he's going to be an important character in our campaign. Janalf the Grizzled, of course, crossbow division leader. Lid Ironbelly. Also Meathead leading the 1st Division or 6th Division. And then we have one more surgeon that we're going to start building up here to be a group leader. And now we have family members coming on the way, right? I've been keeping an eye on these dates. This guy's doing like a couple weeks. And what I mean by do is coming of age. She's not far behind. In fact, 16, 17, 17. So these are all going to age very quickly into our army. That means we're going to have more wives too. Even this guy, right? This guy will have a wife in 8 years. We're instantly marrying these guys, which is also historically accurate, right? Your nobles, in fact, they would be married already. They'd be married at 13, 14, sometimes as young as 7. Now I want to see. Oh, okay. This guy is Mata's ex, and he's widowed or whatever it's called when a guy loses his wife. He's offering us this gal. She's beautiful, and her stats. Look at her stats again with that strength and AI mod. Obviously, I have nothing to do with this gal, and I'm tempted to not. It's a bit of a dilemma, right? We're facing lords that have these kind of stats, and part of me wants to get like a younger spouse for Thace. But she, I mean, I'm half tempted to pick her just because of those eyes. She has the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen in a video game. Some of these decisions I'm just going to make, and I'm not going to worry about it too. I said I'm not going to take this campaign too seriously. This Thace guy, we're going to role play, right? He's bereaved. He lost Mata, the ex-spouse Mata. It's kind of a tragedy. I think we'll just give him this gal. What's nice about it is they won't have children. That'll offset the fact, and she'll die sooner than later because she's older. That'll offset the fact that she's really powerful. Of course, she's not going to be a complete beast. It's not like she's 300 in weapon skill across the board or anything like that. But I think it makes sense. Where's he at here? Guzid. We will just marry Thace off here to Guzid, to Thace off to Sasatha. Again, they're trying to give it to me free. We'll give him some money for his efforts, even though he doesn't need it. A little bit of a handicap for ourselves there. And then we can add this beautiful gal. I heard she's a great conversationalist, amazing personality. We can add her to the army. All right, so the army's getting bigger, right? The marriages are producing babies. The campaign is getting into a really interesting spot. Of course, you want to see more of the campaign, you want to subscribe, tell us. I appreciate you guys. Please leave comments and all that kind of good stuff. And I will see you guys next time.